Hey everybody, it's Booksy here. I'm gonna do a really quick update on ATER, ticker symbol ATER. Um, Basically, we're just kind of waiting for this test phase to finish and to see ourselves basically get what we need um, to move forward. And this is a really massive. This is gonna be a massive move. Um, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be as big as this like 500% run, but I think it's gonna be pretty big. And I just want to point out why I think that. And now, of course, I could be wrong. Maybe we only go up to like $8 or something. I mean, that's not unreasonable to think that. I mean, that's a big move, up to $8. And then we need to come back down and like retest previous levels or something like that. But still, 60%. I mean, that's a big run. But anyways, I just want to point a couple of things out. So on the right here, this is the 1 hour. Okay, and on the left, this is the 3 minute. Now, what you're seeing here is this right here. Okay, well, again, let me repeat. What you're seeing right here is the tail end right here. Right, it's just zoomed in on it. But you notice that, of course, this is the pattern, right? This is the gator snap. You've got the tail and the body, um, a tail and the body, and then you form the wedge. Now, in this case, you had another dip that formed the wedge. And we didn't really need another dip here to do that. I'm not going to dig into the fractals too much, but it's pretty clear that this is the exact same pattern. And these step downs right here, see these? That's the same as these. These were just much more volatile. We had some consolidation, and you had a break up, consolidation, break up, and then you have a sell off again, a sell off again. And I've been kind of calling these out a little bit on the Discord here and there as I see them, but only just to let people know like where I think we are in the overall fractal, where we are in the Gator snap pattern. Now, this Gator snap right here really changed things. This was only a 50 bar cycle. All right, if you remember, let me see if I've got it right here. Maybe not. All right, this is a hot mess. But this right here, you can't see anything on this. There's too much stuff in this group. Did I double group things? All right, you know what? Forget it. Basically, we started a cycle right here. See this spike? This is the cycle right here. Starts here, okay, and then the cycle ends on this spike. And that's the way that I'm doing it. And these are like liquidity tests, basically. And they push the stock way up, okay, and then the rest of it is all just follow through, it's just FOMO. I think. And I think they don't really have to do much in this second stage. I've been talking about this for a while, so if you've been watching the videos, you know what I'm talking about. But right here, what was hard to understand was after this one, right? I called this out, and we all kind of agreed that this is the pattern, right? We saw it happen. But after this one, okay, we kind of just fell down. We didn't follow through. I thought this is where we would see the turn. And then after doing some digging, I saw that, okay, we're in a giant Wyckoff schematic, yada, yada, yada. So maybe we need to go back down and we need to test a region. Now, I called out on Reddit that I thought maybe between um, $5, which is kind of where this hit. I can't remember the absolute low here. I want to say it's like 507. Yeah, it looks like 507. I said maybe $5, maybe $4.30. This region right here, basically. Um, and I'm going to tell you that I think we could still see that push down, but I'm actually pretty optimistic that we're done and that we just hit the test. And you see this purple line. So this is running all the way back. Okay, I'm going to squash this a bit so it's easier to see. This runs all the way back to, right, COVID, basically. And this is the start of the accumulation right down here. And then you have the distribution, and then we're going back into accumulation, but we have a spring and a test, and that's always part of it. And I think if you look at the way this line intersects the spring, you see there's a lot of, see that? So they obviously knew in this region, and this is why I was saying maybe around like, you know, we get to about 4:30 and we're kind of right where we want to be. But I just noticed a couple things, okay? So if you look at the fractal on the whole, the Gator snap, as I've called it, um, we typically will have a breakdown out of the wedge, right? This is how it plays out. Then you have a cup form, and then you have a second cup, which establishes a new wedge, and it did. This is the new wedge that was established. It established this itty bitty, teeny weeny little wedge, okay? And basically, if you were to draw it on here again, you would draw this right here, okay? Just like that. All right, and then this right here is this right here. Well, now look at where we are, okay? We just broke down, and I want you to look at this really carefully with me, and I'll see if you can see what I see, all right? Either we're definitely about to start our second cup. We don't know how far this one will run, but we're definitely going to start cup number 2 soon. Whether it's today or tomorrow, I don't know. But we broke out today, you know what I mean? Whether it's tomorrow or Wednesday, I don't know. We broke out here. We might see it run up a little bit and then sell off, and we get our rebound maybe on the top of the wedge, and then we run. Or we do the same thing where we get this kind of pump up, drops, and then it comes down. I'm skeptical that's what's going to happen, and I'll tell you why, but just look at this really quick. I just want you guys to see this so you can see what I'm seeing, all right? Look at this weird thing. See this right here? This is like a test, right? And you see it happened here too. It's no different. It's exactly the same, right? And it even kind of came back and consolidated, turned into a little wedge, just like it did here before it ran up and then dumped again. But then look at this. You rattle along the bottom here, okay? And then you have this weird dip. It's almost the same. It looks almost exactly the same as this one. See that? And then this event basically kicks off. And you can see this is actually really good. And I will get a little closer here so you can see it. And I'm actually about done with the video today. I'm not going to make it really long. But you see how this goes up? Okay, we have some consolidation. It kind of drops a bit here. But then this is kind of the run. See that? This right here is the kickstart of the run. And we get this candle right at the last second in the day. We'll see what happens overnight. You can see it run up overnight. Maybe it doesn't do much, and then in the morning we see it kind of move, or maybe it's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's possible. Maybe this right here is the full cup, right? And we're going to just go ahead and start the second cup. You might be discouraged thinking, well, I don't want it to play out this way. I don't want it to keep going down. But I think this is the way that they move the stock so that they can direct it either up or down. So they're trying to, you know, shake out paper hands, increase the sell pressure on the downward side, and then in the upper side they're doing, you know, some bear traps, and they're trying to increase the volatility, the momentum on these swings, dipping it down to give more buyers in. But I think it's possible. All right, I'm not saying this is for sure, because if you look at this wick is sold off. All right, it pushed up and then it immediately got knocked back down. And I think maybe they're trying to wait and do it during actual trading hours. I'm going to analyze it a little more tomorrow, but basically I just noticed something that I want to point out. So on one of my indicators, which is the chalk and money flow indicator, right, if you go to the 1 hour and look at this right here, you see this? This is a divergence, and it's pretty significant because if you look at the divergence here, look what's happening. You see that? What's going on with the price action? This is a massive move down. All right, and I want you to take note of this. All right, do mental picture of this. You got this little rebound. It retests this existing line. All right, and I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to go all the way back to this region right here. And look at this. Okay, look at this divergence right here. All right, there's this massive sell-off that's going on. And it looks really bad, like it's going to be the end of the world. But look what's going on here. Okay, and if you don't believe me, check this out. All right, look, while this is still selling off, right, this starts moving up. Right, and then you get this push out of here. This to me is significant because I haven't found this anywhere else. There's some spots here and there that kind of replicate it, but this right here is just very similar in terms of the way this looks and how it's kind of coming out. And this happens sometimes when you get like a turnaround. It's happened on the downside right here. It's kind of the same thing. You got this kind of burst out, and then it actually caused like a harder downside after. But I think in this direction, the way this is going, and you can chart this a few different ways, but this to me looks very good. Again, as always, not financial advice, can't give financial advice, but I think that we're sitting pretty, you know, even if we were to dip down a little further into like the upper fours or something, if it does kind of come up and break down, you know, maybe we need to go down to like 480 or something. And it's going to be even tighter, all right, even a smaller play of this fractal, and then we rip. But I think tomorrow we're just looking really good. So I'm going to leave it at that. Hope you all have a good one.